check something real quick. Oh, I need to. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure the sound was working. So sorry I'm a little late. However, I have some exciting, or maybe not so exciting, news to share with you. I keep talking about the reintroduction of the strip as a graphic novel, and I actually have had to reintroduce the strip a couple of times. And one of the ways I did was in the Melonpool movie, the Melonpool, the motion picture script that I did the Kickstarter for, that basically fell apart because of a bunch of personal reasons and shop closing and everything else. But I do have the script. This is only the first 19 pages of it, 18 pages of it, 17 pages of it. Actually, I need to print one more page. 1 second. Let me go print that before I get started. So the opening of the strip, you know, the comic itself was around for a while. It was around for probably about 10 or 12 years at this point when I wrote the script. And oh, hey, Anthony. Well, hopefully other people will show up. So anyway, when I wrote the script, it had a lot of continuity. I was trying to reintroduce the characters in a way that people who had not followed the strip could follow it, but people who had followed the strip could still enjoy it. And one of the things, but I wasn't 100% in either camp. I did change some things and whatnot. But this is the script, and this may turn into like a reader's theater setup. But basically, it starts with the steel dock, goes along. We have Mayberry, Sam, and Jalea on the bridge, and the ship shakes. Mayberry, Jalea, open up a hailing frequency. Explain that we're on a peaceful mission. And then Jalea, no response. Why are they attacking us? Sam, some people just like to fight, I guess. Anyway, they're going along, and we cut to the intercom whistles. Mayberry reluctantly presses the intercom button. Insert view screen. Ralph Xenobop appears on the view screen. What are you idiots doing down there? Sam, speaking of people who just like to fight. Now, this is all stuff I could use in the comic. Nothing, Ralph. We just been no need to leave engineering. We have it all under control. Anyway, Ralph, of course, we do the gag that I always do with the let's see. Anyway, I'm gonna go through this real quick, and I'm gonna star the stuff that I think works. Okay, so yeah, maybe not these two lines. Anyway, Ralph's coming up to the ship, coming up to the bridge. Sam says, "I, for one, am glad he's coming up here. At least I'll be able to see where I'm steering without his giant head filling the screen." So, yeah, I don't know if I need that. Then Ralph yells for Roberta to come in and watch the engine. Roberta says that she didn't want to go on this mission anyway. So wants to keep an eye on the engine. And I do the gag with Sammy on the wheel. Which is another tired and true classic. Thank you, Anthony. Like I said, with gripping stuff like this, who wouldn't want to follow my feed? But this is all going to mean something at some point. I'm just trying to demonstrate the creative process a little bit for people. So, oh yeah, Olaf's back here. If you oh, there's a pin in it. What's the pin doing in that? If you follow my regular puppet feed, I build puppets in the evening. So, anyway, so back to the script. It's the gag with Sammy on the wheel, which I probably should do again. But this introduces Ralph and Roberta and their dynamic, and Sammy. Okay, so now we're on the bridge again. Ralph's up there, and he wants to have the explanation. And so he says, all right, what's going on here? Sam says, some crazy space probe started attacking us about 20 minutes ago. Luckily, their blasts are pretty weak. Then Julia says she thinks she's getting a video on screen. On the screen, we see... Ralph and Mayberry both say on screen together. And it says... Ralph, Mayberry both look at each other, both annoyed that the other seems to be taking command. Okay, so on the view screen, they see a small metallic object is in the center of the screen, smaller than an economy car and vaguely resembling a 1970s NASA space probe. Ralph, that's what's firing at us? Blow it out of the sky. We can't. We're on a peaceful mission, remember? We have a mission? Yeah, we're lost in space, remember? Lost in space, it's Star Trek over... Okay, the Mayberry says, Lost in space, it's Star Trek over it's anything. I mean, all this stuff really goes to show show these characters. I'm kind of enjoying this script already, and I wrote it 15 years ago. Really, what hurts it more is it's a lot of talking, But I think there's some pretty good gags in here. Okay, so they fire on the space chute, and it careens back into deep space. So I guess Ralph hits the button. Ralph slams his fist down on Julia's station, activating the ion cannons. Exterior space. The steel duct fires on the space probe, sending it careening into deep space. Mayberry, Sam, and Ralph watch as the probe on the view screen. The probe on the view screen as it disappears in view. Another disaster averted by Ralph Xenobob. Suddenly, Julia's console explodes in a shower of sparks, throwing her from the seat. Now, one of the things that happened in the regular comic was Julia became human at one point. She was a robot. She was a protocol droid that was rebuilt by Ralph to become a pop star. And through a series of events on an asteroid, she actually became a human. And so for the bulk of the end of the strip, the original strip, she was a human being. In this script, it starts with her being a robot again. So anyway, she's a robot. She's hit with the explosion. I think it blows off her face. Let's see. Julia sits bolt upright, her faceplate slightly askew, revealing her robot innards. Relax. She's a robot, remember? Take a lick and keep on ticking. She's fine. Ralph closes Julia's faceplate. As it clicks shut, she bursts into a few bars of Don't Hate Me Because I'm Beautiful. Now, thank you for saying you like my glasses. Don't Hate Me Because I'm Beautiful is the song that my buddy Eric wrote for Julia. If you go to the Melonpool website and look under media, you can actually listen to it, along with some other songs. Anyway, Sam, she doesn't sound fine to me. Sorry, I seem to have a song stuck in my cache. Julia uncontrollably belts out a few more bars of Don't Hate Me Because I'm Beautiful. And then Ralph, which becomes a catchphrase in this movie. Great, as if I don't have enough to do around here. Roberta monitors. Okay, we're back in the engineering. Roberta and Sammy. And Ralph comes in, dragging Julia with him. I'm going to have to back up your hard drive before I can reinstall your system software. You know the drill. Julia hops onto Ralph's workbench and pops open her faceplate, fully revealing her robotic innards. I think if I were to do this again, and maybe in this version of it, she'll just be a robot. She won't have her human covering. She'll just be kind of this cobbled together robot. So it kind of streamlines it, and it kind of also reintroduces her as a robot. Anyway, okay. So she starts singing the song again, and Julia says, she hears the song and goes, catchy. And of course, Ralph is a male chauvinist pig, and he says to Julia, you can go back to cleaning the kitchen or whatever it is you do around here. Now, she's the doctor. She says, I'm a doctor. I'm tired of being treated like the token female. I'll have you know I treat you with exactly the way I treat everyone else aboard this ship. Well, you got me there. You treat us all terribly. Now, I probably changed a lot of that, but that was... it was kind of... It sort of excused Ralph for being the idiot that he was, or saying the horrible things he said by just treating everybody horribly. At least in my mind at the time. Okay, so the ship lurches to a stop. Ralph, Roberta, and Julia fall on the floor. Ralph pops up and pounds on the intercom. What's going on now? And then Mayberry's like, don't ask me. The engine just went dead. Dead? That's impossible. He's on the wheel. And he looks over and he sees that Sammy's not on the wheel. Great, Ralph. What else can go wrong? Well, now that you mention it, that probe just came back. So now the probe's back. This is kind of a parody of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. This whole movie is, but it also incorporates things from I want to say Where Nomad Has Gone Before. The Changeling is an episode of Star Trek with Nomad. Anyway, we'll go back, and Space Probe approaches the now motionless steel duck. As it comes into range, it emits a beam of energy that bathes the steel duck in light. That probe just put a tractor beam on us. I guess we should fire on them again. It worked before. Sam, Mayberry, looks like Julia wasn't the only thing affected by the explosion. The weapon system isn't responding. Mayberry, can't we do anything? Not without weapons or engines. We're just sitting, and then you go outside and you notice again that it's a steel duck. It's a ship that looks like a duck. Mayberry hits the intercom. Ralph, where's that power? Roberta and Ralph are trying to push Sammy back on his wheel. Giant Hamster pushes back with all his might. Julia sits there on Ralph's workbench, plugged into the ship's computer. Monitor reads, back up 34%. I'm working on it. Don't you mean we're working on it? It's kind of dumb. Okay. The steel duck's engines glow back to life, same as before. That's it. Engines back online. Get us out of here, Sam. Sam grabs his bone-shaped shifter knob and throws it into reverse. They're still stuck in the tractor beam. And they start backing away. We did it. We're getting away. It's Sam. Not exactly we're moving, but we're just dragging that probe along with us. Okay, the steel duck pulls the probe in his tractor beam. I mean, if this script is anything, it's action-packed. And then Mayberry, what would Captain Kirk do? What would Captain Kirk do? Sam's like, focus, Mayberry, focus. Again, that becomes a running gag in the script, if I remember right. Mayberry, wait, I have an idea. Scan the system for any newborn nebulas or gaseous anomalies to hide in. Sam scans. Sam, about the only thing I see within light year is a massive black hole. That's it. Well, full speed for the black hole. The steel duck backs her way through space, full speed, towards a massive black hole, dragging the tiny probe along with it, its own tractor beam. The same as before, Ralph in the engineering. Am I reading this right? Are you idiots actually taking us towards a black hole? Maybe y'all just ignores him. Okay, Sam, I'm a command. Slam on the brakes and turn hard to starboard. Sam, what's that do? Just brake now. Sam turns the ship's yoke hard to the right, and he slams on the brakes, and the steel duck skids to a stop just as it reaches the edge of the black hole's event horizon. As she skids, the ship quickly turns 180 degrees on her axis, whipping her nose towards the black hole. The tiny space probe whiplashes around the steel duck, straight into the black hole's center, and the tractor beam severed. The probe disappears inside the vortex. Okay. So, anyway, Mayberry and Sam cheer. Overcome with excitement, Roberta quickly hugs Ralph, realizing that she's doing, and she pushes him away, disgusted. Same as before. Okay, on the bridge. You did it, Mayberry, of course. I'm the captain. That's what I do. The ship starts to violently shake. Uh-oh, we have another problem. The engine room is violently shaking as well. Panels are starting to come loose from the intense power of the black hole. Just as Ralph notices what's happening, the intercom whistles to attention. What'd you do now, Melonpool? Well, the good news is that I got rid of that pesky space probe. What's the bad news? And the steel duck is being pulled into the massive black hole. Okay, so then we keep going. I'm on the edge of my seat here. The ship violently shaking as Ralph gets both the sides back together. Roberta, where's that power? We're already running at full speed. Sammy is, in fact, running full bore on his wheel, panting and sweating. Ralph surveys the situation. Ralph, I don't get it. That hamster should be generating more than enough for us to break free. Ralph suddenly notices a flashing red light on the display. Mayberry and Ralph helplessly as the ship is pulled farther and farther into a black hole. Bad news, Bridge. One of the vectored iron vents is clogged. Sam, we're not going to make it, are we? Now, one of the things I did do... Oh, hey, small bug. Okay, so one of the things I did do in this script was... let's see... I would pepper in lines from Star Trek episodes. So this "We're not going to make it, are we?" was Sulu's line in Wrath of Khan. And you may, I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole script. I'm just going through the intro because I figured oh, hey Charles. So one of the things that I'm not going through the whole script because I may end up using the rest of the script for a second graphic novel. But I do like this intro a lot. Anyway, we're not going to make it, are we? I'll say it like Sue. We're not going to make it, are we? Okay, anyway. We're not going to make it, are we? Not unless we can clear that vent. And then he's like, Ralph says, I think I have an idea. Now, I had many different versions of this. One of the ideas was that Ralph was going to put a plastic bag and a rubber band around Mayberry's head and throw him out into space. I ended up abandoning that for, I think, what's in this script. So, anyway, we're back to this. Okay, so the giant black hole, exterior space, the giant black hole dwarfs the steel duck. The airlock doors open to reveal Jalea inside it. She makes her way across the outside of the ship's hull on her way to the clogged ion vent. The gravitational pull is intense. Jalea, this better not mess up my hair. Again, I write, this is me writing 15 years ago, so who knows what I was thinking at the time. Anyway, okay. Jalea begins singing Don't Hate Me Because I'm Beautiful. Again, unfazed, she reaches into the clogged ion vent, attempting to clear it. Suddenly, something comes loose. Jalea holds a large coffee mug with property of Ralph Xenobop, use it and die, written across its front. It looks at the mug a little peeved. Interior bridge, same as before. Display on the monitor levels out and displays the word nominal. That was another thing from Wrath of Khan. The ion vent just cleared. Punch it. Sam shifts the steel duck into overdrive and pulls back hard on the yoke. Exterior space. Suddenly, a blast of energy hits Jalea right in the face, knocking her off the hull of the steel duck. The steel duck inches away from the black hole, finally escaping the intense gravitational pull. Opposite angle, Mayberry and Sam watch on the view screen as they move away from the black hole. Mayberry, wow, we survived 2 emergencies in one day. That's a new record. Sam, I'm just glad we all got out of this safe and sound. Right on cue, the badly damaged Jalea floats past the front view screen towards the black hole. Mayberry rushes to his captain's chair and punches the intercom. Ralph, please tell me the transporter's operational. Ralph, it's on my list. Now, it's on his list is another thing that was one of Ralph's catchphrases throughout this whole script. And I think it shows up over and over in the script. Insert view screen. Julia disappears into the center of the black hole singing Don't Hate Me Because I'm Beautiful. Music continues after she is gone. Okay. Into your steel duck bridge day. The music transitions into Sammy playing Don't Hate Me Because I'm Beautiful on the bagpipes. Another Wrath of Khan reference. The entire crew gathers around for a makeshift memorial for their fallen comrade. Sam has removed his hat out of respect. Mayberry, quoting Star Trek II, of my friend, I can only say this. Of the souls I've encountered in my travels, hers was the most human. Everyone except Ralph bows their heads in Julia's memory. Ralph, this is idiotic. She was a robot. A robot! Roberta, show a little respect, will you? You built her, and I can rebuild her. Ralph pulls out a CD labeled Julia's Backup. She's just lucky I backed up 98% of her files before she was destroyed. Roberta, and if we're lucky, that song was in the other 2%. Now, all the song stuff will probably be removed from this if I use it. Anyway. And then Ralph turns to Sammy on the bagpipes and says, please, that's amazingly grating. Because that's in Wrath of Khan, it was Amazing Grace. And that was a joke that Chris Gleason, who was the puppeteer for Sammy, said when I did in the comic, basically the same gag. Sammy stops playing the bagpipes. They trail off in a sickly whine that completely kills the somberness of the event. Mayberry, get right on rebuilding Julia, Ralph. I'll put it on my list. Well, in the meantime, you know what we really need? A new captain? How about a new engineer? No, a mission. Okay, so all this is kind of not going to be used. A mission. We just wander around the galaxy for the rest of our... in a mission. We can't just wander around the galaxy for the rest of our lives, you know. Ralph, that's pretty much all we can do now that our navigator was destroyed by a massive black hole. Yeah, we're lost in space, remember? I refuse to accept that. We have a spaceship. We should be exploring the galaxy. I'll plot a course myself if I have to. Mayberry presses a button on the console. Suddenly, the entire crew starts to float off the deck. Roberta, not that one. That's the gravity. Whoops. Mayberry quickly hits the button again, sending everyone crashing back to the floor. How many times does this idiot have to... Ralph, how many times does this idiot have to almost get us killed before the rest of you stop following him around? We're useless. Mayberry, useless? Who do you call him useless? I'm sorry to break this to you, but the only reason I keep you around is because the dog can't use the radio. Sam looks down at his paws sadly. Stupid non-opposable thumbs. We've wasted enough time, everybody. Get back to work. Come on, you. Ralph grabs Sammy by the scruff of his neck and drags him out of the door. Defeated, Mayberry sits back in his captain's chair, depressed. How can I be useless? I'm the captain. Suddenly confident. That's right. I am the captain. Sam, set a course for that planet. For the nearest habitable planet. We need some We have some exploring to do. Sam hits a couple buttons on his console. Course laid in and standing by. What about this, Ralph? He's not going to... Roberta, what about Ralph? He's not going to like this. Who cares? Mayberry's the captain. I'm the dog. Sam. Who cares? Mayberry's the captain. I'm a dog. I'm loyal. Mayberry. Unfortunately, Roberta's right. Without Ralph, we don't have an engine. Maybe I am useless. Roberta and Sam look at one another. No, they both know what they have to do. Don't worry, Mayberry. Roberta. Don't worry, Mayberry. Leave the engine to me. Ralph's all talk. Mayberry. Yeah, but what's he going to do? Yeah, but what's he going to do? Throw me out the airlock? They all laugh at the absurdity statement. I don't even know what that joke means. Anyway, that was the first 15 minutes of the will be in the it was in the movie, and I think a good chunk of it could be in the graphic novel. I really do. Yeah, this is the old movie script. And it goes on. I mean, the basic gist of the rest of the thing is that Mayberry's frozen in carbonite and wakes up 2.5 years later to find out everybody else's dreams have come true, and he's stuck on he's on a space station, and then he sees a enormous cloud, a space cloud coming at them, and decides he needs to get the crew back together to save the universe, and that's the plot of the rest of the movie. But I don't think I'm going to use the rest of that, but I do think this opening would be awesome for the graphic novel. So, sorry, there's not much drawing in this particular one. I can do a few little drawings, but I mean, like one of the ideas that I don't even know if I can remember how to draw Jalea. That's right. She looked like proto C-3PO. So I think that she'll be a robot in this version of it. The nice thing about it is the storyline that I have. Okay, so there, I don't know if you remember, but there was no Ralphie in this one, which that may have to be addressed in the rewrite. There also was a plot line in there. This was an earlier version of the script because it got a little muddy after a while. This was like the version that I could find that was the kind of the most put together of them. Later versions had Mayberry hit with a face hugger from Alien, and it got a little off track. But the idea was that there were a lot of sci-fi references in the finished movie, and sorry, it's hard to talk and draw at the same time. But sorry, I forget what I was just saying. As the saying goes, don't throw away old ideas. Who knows where you can find use for them? Yeah, I feel like that. I can't remember what I was even saying. Anyway, if anybody remembers, just let me know. I get off on these tangents and forget what I'm talking about. So, I mean, that could be a really cool panel, something like that. Or maybe have the event horizon here. I think I kind of like that better. But yeah, I mean, that movie was completely written. If I had the whole script, I would show it to you, but I don't know what happened to it. I kind of stumble upon it constantly, but somehow I misplaced it. If I find it, I could print it all out again. That's what I did. Yeah, those are all. But I think that basically at the end of this, instead of going off on the tangent of the band, getting the band back together storyline. I could have it that after they're thrown back, maybe the space probe, when it hits a tractor beam on it, that's when they realize that Ralph's brain has been, or his body has been stolen. Maybe at that point, or maybe afterwards they hit some other other stumbling block that causes that to happen. Or maybe I just go off on some other tangent. I mean, I actually enjoyed this script more than I thought I would. There was so much, I don't know, angst and regret tied up in this project because it fell apart the way it did, that I didn't remember it being as funny as it was. So I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it at least. There, I know what I was talking about. So one of the storylines that was in here was that they didn't have a spacesuit because Ralph had misplaced his coffee cup. I don't know why it's not in this version of it. He misplaced his coffee cup and had converted the spacesuit helmet into a mug for him to drink coffee out of. And he's doing it throughout the entire opening of this thing. I'll probably put that back in. But that was what the payoff was, that the reason why the engine wasn't working right is because he had lost his coffee cup in the engine, and when Julia pulls it out, that's what fixes the ship. So anyway, I will be back on hopefully Monday to do this again. Again, sorry there wasn't much more drawing, but I did enjoy this process. Maybe I'll do Reader's Theater every once in a while, where I pull out another 20 pages of this script and go through it. Some of it gets pretty excruciating. There's a lot of Star Trek, the motion picture references in here. In fact, the opening of this originally started, there was one version of it where I must have done 50 drafts of this script over the years with my friend John Stout, who was going to direct it. And we would go back and forth adding and taking stuff out. But one of the versions of it started with a Kobayashi Maru test and Mayberry doing it and just failing miserably, only to wake up and realize it was all a dream. So oh, hey, Monk, is it who? Hey. So, anyway, all right. Well, I'm gonna head out, but I will see you guys on Monday. I'll try to be on here about noon again, or 11:30, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for popping in. Bye.